Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're back on the update 1.83 dev server and we're having a look at the Isle class, the T-285. It's a rank 1 battle rating 2.3 machine for the British, and the reason why I wanted to have a look at it, because to me it looks like a party ferry, or a party barge, mainly a party ferry though, and it just looks like they've taken this out of civilian service and just stuck a bunch of guns on it and said go have at it, and for me, for some reason, that really resonates. It makes me, happy that you can take a civilian idea and then just put a bunch of guns on it. And if this isn't a civilian idea, then what the hell were they thinking? I think is the best way of putting it. But anyway, looking at this machine, when we look at the armor, the only armor that is present is the armor which is around the Orlecan Mark IIs. Then, if we have a look at the X-ray, you can see the big Bertha engine, which is in this Isle class. It also has a huge transmission, but it only has one engine. So once you take out that one engine, this thing is going to be stationary. And as a machine that only goes 22.2 kilometers an hour, fully spaded anyway, taking out that engine may not make that much of a difference, but still, it is a prideful thing for a British man to have his engine working well. On top of this, it does have a crew of 40, which are mainly comprised in the bridge and the radio station in the center. You also have a huge fuel tank under them, so if you want to hit that and make the whole thing go kaboom, be my guest. Then you have the pumps here, but the main place that you should be aiming to annihilate this machine in is the front. Now, I would say if you want to be more conservative with your shots, you want to be a bit more tactful with your shooting on the Isle class, shoot the engine, shoot the fuel tank, shoot these two areas, right? But if you want to see the whole thing go pop, the best place to shoot is right here, the ammunition storage in the front of the boat. And if you need a leading indicator of where it is, just think it's under the big long gun, the 4-inch in the front. So if you aim just slightly down below that, you have ammunition storage. If you miss shot and go lower than that, guess what? There's more ammunition storage. And if you go slightly right, guess what? More ammunition storage. This is like a big birthday cake and you have a knife and you have to bloody slice it. You really have to just aim for this and just see it go kaboom. I can't wait to see a bunch of Isle classes which are just going to go pop. Now the issue is you probably won't see that many of them because it's in a part of the tech tree where you generally won't see a lot of stuff because most people have moved on to rank 2 instead of staying in this rank 1 stuff. But I personally am going to play a lot of these ships around here, including the Flower class, which let's just say has quite a wide booty in it with its two massive engines. So with that said, I will definitely be donning the Isle class as it comes out. One big 4-inch on the front, 3 20mm Orlecans, which are mainly going to be used for AA and also gunning down people, and 2 sets of dual 7.7mm Lewis machine guns looking off both sides of the bridge. So generally what you're looking at is 3 20mm and a big 4-inch, which are going to do the main partying on the waves. Modifications wise, what you see is you start off with the 102mm, which is the 4-incher, with HE. And then you go to an AP round, and then you have shrapnel, which is definitely something that I'm interested in, because generally shrapnel rounds are something that is reserved for rank 1, 2, and sometimes I think 3, but mainly rank 1 and 2 Soviet ground vehicles. So having this idea of shrapnel in this game, especially when it comes to ships, when there's a ton of ships which don't have a ton of armor out there, that to me sounds very, very fun. On top of this, right now on the dev server, all these rounds are incredibly cheap to actually replenish, so that makes me feel great. The AP for the 20mm, I mean, if you are looking to gun down ships, obviously use AP. If you are looking to gun down anything else, such as planes, mainly, H is probably the way to go. It also has 20 depth charges on it, because why the hell not, and access to a smoke screen. Now, if you are going to ask me, is this thing going to be that good? No, There are plenty of vehicles at 2.3 I would actually say are going to be much better than it. The Dark class, just because it has access to torpedoes and a 40mm. If we go to the Soviets at 2.3, you're looking at the PR-1124 with the two 76mm F-34 turrets, the new PR-191 with the 85 on it, the PR-191M which has an 85 on it. I would easily take these over this ship. Then for the Germans, you have the Lecht at 2.7. I would actually probably take the party barge or the party ferry over the Schnellboot S100, but that's more of a personal choice. I would actually say the S100 is better than it. And then at 2.3 for the Americans, the 165-footer, which just has more rounds and it is nearly twice the speed. So yeah, this party ferry or party barge is really not something that's going to be great at its BR, but sometimes you just got to have a little bit of fun. And with a crew of 40, people can just bash you all day, and it's going to be quite hard to take this down unless they ignite the ammunition, especially if you get downed. So we're going to take a little bit of shrapnel, and I want to just test it, just to see how it is on the wonderful party barge. So we'll change the guns so they don't fire. Now it's all up to the main gun, so let's get this S-38. Correction, and bonk. See, this is what is going to be interesting, in my opinion. With these new shrapnel rounds, they are going to act very much like HE, but they should technically do a little bit more damage, and that's because the spread is a little bit more. Now, whether this actually happens or not is up for a debate, because in ground forces it doesn't really happen as well. But what I'm looking forward to is being able to maim specific boats just around the place with these wonderful rounds. Now, does this thing have some backup with it? No, not particularly. It's pretty much 4-inch or go bust, and as you can see, the 4-inch can sometimes go bust if you don't shoot the correct areas of the ship, but you will slowly but surely take it out. Now, the Oerlikons being on it are very much an interesting addition. It's standard on pretty much every British ship that it has some kind of Oerlikon, at least that's what it feels like when I look through the tech trees, but we are now at max speed, approaching greatness in this party ferry. There is so much open space on this thing that I don't understand what they were trying to achieve here, unless it was some kind of ship which was just supposed to patrol, not a ship which was supposed to fight that much, mainly a secondary ship. But when it comes to being able to maim stuff, of course, when it's the shrapnel is pretty good at it, the AP will be able to try and ignite whatever's going on, but the actual size of this machine for what it has is kind of ridiculous. There are Elco 80-footers which have way more firepower than this machine. Way more firepower. And they are, I would say, maybe a third, if not a quarter of the size of this party ferry. So when it comes to the usefulness of this, we're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel, which is why, first of all, I don't think a lot of people are going to use it, but at the end of the day, I feel like people will miss out just because it will be fun to use. Now, obviously, with a bunch of depth charges, you can do some interesting things, and by interesting, I mean just blow up your own ship. This ship suffers from the same issue as some of the other ones, where unfortunately it is able to blow itself up because it's not fast enough, so you might want to check the timers before you go out on the battlefield with the party ferry. I feel like if it just had one more gun, like maybe a large gun between those boats, or maybe on the back here, instead of having the area for all the depth charges, it probably would be better. But it also, for me, seems like a platform which would be used maybe in some way to drop off a bunch of mines around the place. So this could be one of those ships which may not be great in the offensive department, you know, being able to throw a bunch of shells one way, but what it might be good at is, first of all, ramming something, as we're about to see, and second of all, it might be good at laying a bunch of mines. So maybe watch out for that. Maybe this is one of those ships that eventually will be given some kind of usefulness when it comes to actually being able to lay mines or new mechanics down the way. Because right now, when I look at this ship, all I see is just something that is so incredibly slow and so incredibly useless that why in the hell would I use this over something else? Maybe it's the AP. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe because I can penetrate destroyers. Maybe I can up-tier this and hopefully get a lucky hit on an ammunition storage, which is around about this area here. Or at least it should be. Look at that. Oh, we were close. But yeah, maybe that's the idea. Maybe I can take it into higher tier battles and it's able to penetrate some of the machines that will be obviously very good. Ricochet, how dare you, sir? There's not like 200 millimeters of armor there. But anyway, yeah, it is the party ferry. This one, what I want somebody to do is to have a game in it. Send me a replay or a video of you doing well in this machine. Right? That is my challenge to you, because I feel like this machine is not going to do very well, but it's going to be very fun to watch it stomping people when it really, really, really shouldn't be. Maybe it will be good against some other machines. Oh, also, it doesn't really maneuver too well, so guess what? Torpedoes are going to absolutely wreck it. If you are in a torpedo boat, this thing is a wet dream, especially when it comes to that ammunition storage in the front that you can see here. Overall, oh my god, it's... I'm glad that it got added to the game, because it gives me an excuse to play down the British battle group line in rank 1, but this ain't this ain't a clincher to try and get a strategical or a player who wants to win to play this game. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.